Ashe, greetings and grand rising. A good day and goodwill to you all once again, my fellow natural native earthly humans the world over. And again, I must say thanks for stopping by. This is yours truly, I, the Mystic Philosopher, and welcome to part 31, the continuation of my series of talks titled Can Africa Be Set Free? Can Burkina Faso, the land of upright people, the land of people of integrity, be set free? Now, if you haven't yet watched or listened to part 1 through to part 30, and hopefully in that consecutive order, I ask that you please do so before going forward with this part 31, or that you please do so at your earliest convenience. I can almost assure you that by doing so, you may learn something new, which is part of what I think life is all about. Learning something new. Or you may be reminded of something or about something, or at the very least, you may get something to think about, something to ponder, something to provoke your intellect, something to agree or disagree with. And please note that I did not say that by listening to yours truly, you will learn something, but that you may learn something. The operative word here again is may or might learn something. The truth be told, these talks, my presentations are definitely not for everyone, because I'm well aware of the possibility, if it is not the fact, that some of you, my listeners, might be off-ended by the truth, and more correctly by the facts that are enveloped therein, the logical facts that are enveloped therein. But as the late Robert Nesta Marley said in one of his most famous songs titled Jaliv, and again I quote, "The truth is an offense, but not a sin," unquote. And as the late Dale Carnegie said, "Those convinced against their will are of the same opinion still," unquote. And for the record, I am not a con, and neither am I trying to con you, to convert you, to convince you, to confound you, to confuse you, to con anyone in any other cons. I am just sharing another perspective on a lot of things. And in this series, I am sharing what I perceive and think I know and know that I know must be done. Not may be done, but must be done in order for our mother land, El Cubeland, aka Africa, and by extension, all her children, home and abroad, to be free. It must be done. Please note, again, not to gain freedom, but to be free. For those of you that have been listening to some, if not all of my previous episodes, you will already know that my answer to those two questions, number one, can Africa be set free? Number two, can Burkina Faso, the land of upright people, be set free? You don't know that it is a resounding yes, yes, and more yeses. And I have no doubt about such a possibility. However, the purpose of this series is to show you from I, the Mystic Philosopher's perspective, and I, spiritual and intellectual insights, how and when Africa, Burkina Faso, and by extension, we all African people home and abroad can and will be set free from the tyranny of the soulless creatures, yes, their imperialism and their colonialism. It was the late Maya Angelou who once said, "The truth is, no one of us can be free until everybody is free," unquote. And with that fact in mind, we both know that none of us Africans, be it nations or individual, can be free until all of us are indeed free. So in previous episodes, I told you that the weapon that was used by the soulless creatures, aka the imperialists and colonizers, to conquer our most honorable African ancestors and our motherland is religion. I told you that religion was used by both Islam, the Arabs, and Christendom, the Caucasoid, to deceive, to conquer, to mentally, physically, psychologically, emotionally, and otherwise abuse, exploit, pillage, rape, enslaved, and unalived our most honorable ancestors and Alcubulan, Africa, the motherland. I told you that if at all we are to be free from their tyranny, we must stop praying to and stop worshiping their God and gods. Must, not may. Yes, we must and not may, but we must stop praying, paying homage to the soulless creatures, the imperialists and colonizers, gods, their angels, their saviors, their prophets and lords, etc., etc. We must stop. I told you that by the same token I ask that you please stop calling upon and praying to our most honorable African ancestors' enemies, gods, saviors, angels, prophets, and lords, etc., who by extension are now our enemies. And their gods, angels, saviors, prophets, and lords are our enemies as well. Yes, I am talking about the soulless and melanin deficient creatures, the imperialists and colonizers, gods, saviors, their angels, their prophets, and their lords, etc. I told you quite unapologetically and in no uncertain terms that you, my people, my African people, my fellow natural native earthly humans, my highly enriched melanin, my highly enriched carbon, my highly enriched sun-skinned people must stop calling upon them, must stop worshiping them, must stop invoking them, must stop beseeching them, must stop paying homage to them, must stop mentioning their names and stop praying to them and stop asking them for guidance and protection, and especially for asking them to guide and protect our young and great African leader, Abraham Traore. I told you we must stop it. I told you that by doing so, it won't work to his advantage. By asking them to protect and to guide him, it won't work to his advantage. And by extension, it won't work to our advantage as well. Because if he fail, we also fail. And it can't work to his advantage. But it will only work to his detriment. By praying to them and asking them for guidance, it will only work to his detriment. It will only work to his downfall. And by doing so, you are literally and spiritually putting him in much more danger of being overthrown, of being conquered by his and by extension by our enemies, and his mission being compromised, if not totally fail. I also told you that by praying to his or our enemies, God's angels, saviors, prophets, and lords, etc., it will only make it more challenging for our source, for our God, goddesses, Orishas, and the spirits and energies of our most honorable African ancestors to continue doing their work and continue covering, guiding, and protecting him. Now, please allow me to quickly explain why it is not only ignorant of us, meaning we don't know, or don't know, ignorant of us, and disadvantageous to us, and dangerous for us to be praying to be calling upon, to be and invoking the name and names and the spirits and energies of our oppressors, God, our oppressors, God, gods, goddesses, Elohim, saviors, angels, prophets, and lords, etc. The soulless and melanin deficient creatures, the imperialists and colonizers, gods, angels, saviors, prophets, and lords. You name them. The truth be told, time will not permit me here to get into all aspects of what I would like to share with you on this topic. However, please stay tuned for if the I source and the I most honorable ancestors permit, I will be getting into this in far much greater details. in my next upcoming series of talks on featuring words and names, etc. But for now, this much I would like you to know and bear in mind in order to be mindful of at all times. Whenever you pray to a God, a goddess, an Elohim, or saviors, or angels, or prophet, or lords, etc. Whenever you beseech a God, call upon a God, invoke the name or names and the spirits and energies of a God or gods, etc. Whomever, or whatever you may know, conceive, or believe it, him, her, or them to be. It is you who are empowering that God or those gods, etc. It is you who is giving that God or those gods, etc., angels, etc., power, and not the other way around. It is you who is bringing it, him, her, or them to life and making them alive in your life. It is you who is surrendering to that God or to those gods and thereby giving them the power first, guess who? Over you. It is you who are opening up portals and giving our enemy's God power over you and expect it, him, her, or them to work in your favor. In fact, if your own common sense, if at all activated, it will tell you that that is not wise. Your enemy God can't work for you and won't work for you. It doesn't make logical sense. Just think about it. However, have you ever wondered why all religions, as I've described earlier, and according to Karl Marx, religion, the opium of the people, have you ever wondered why all religions teach and insist that all their converts, all their congregants, all their followers, aka all their sheep, must put their God first and above all and everything else? Have you ever wondered? Have you ever wondered why all of these religions insist that you must, or their congregants must, subject themselves to their God, must humble themselves? Another word for humble is must humiliate themselves before their God, must kneel before the presence of their God, must bow down before their God, must surrender their lives and their all to their God, must be a servant. Another word for slave is servant. Servants are slave. Must be a slave, or if you prefer, a servant of, a servant to, and a servant for their God. Have you ever wondered why all these religions insist on that? Have you ever really wondered about this? To drive this point home, let me quickly quote one of the imperialists and colonialists and colonizers' religion songs titled "I Surrender All." Most of you, my people, are giving away your soul and your power in ignorance, and well, primarily in ignorance. And it goes like this: all to Jesus I surrender. All to Jesus I surrender. All to him I freely give. I will ever love and trust him, in his presence daily live. I surrender all, I surrender all. All to thee, my blessed Savior, I surrender all. I want to let people know what they're really singing and doing and saying. All to Jesus I surrender. My people, this is their God, they can do it. The imperialists and colonizers, that's their song and them sing it. Because they're calling upon, praying to, and worshiping and doing whatever with their God, and their God is working for them. But it is not for us. We're not supposed to be singing this song, period. All to Jesus I surrender. Humbly at his feet I bow. Worldly pleasures all forsaken. Take me, Jesus, take me now. All to Jesus I surrender. Make me, Savior, wholly thine. Fill me with thy love and power. Truly know that thou art mine. All to Jesus I surrender. Now I feel the sacred flame. Oh, the joy of full salvation. Glory, glory to his name. People only understand. But I will be getting into this. Stay tuned. If this is not both mental, physical, emotional, and psychological slavery, coupled with stupidity, then someone please tell me what is slavery and what is stupidity. Tell me logically, prove it. Now, if or when, this is important now, if or when you know yourself, then you know and know that your God works for you and not the other way around. Your God serve you and not the other way around. You will know that our God work for us and not the other way around. Our God serve us and not the other way around. Our God serve us and not we who serve our God. If and when you know. And for those of us that have eyes to see and a mind to understand and overstand, you will both see, know, and admit that our enemies, the imperialists and the colonizers, gods and goddesses, etc., are working very well for them, and not the other way around. We are the ones that they trick. But I'll get into this at a later time. I run out of time right now, so I ask that you please join me in part, 32? For the continuation of Can Africa Be Set Free? Can Burkina Faso, the land of upright people, be set free? In the meantime and between time, he is willing that you be more and more and much, much more, and definitely not less. Again, I want you and ask you, please don't let no one say they're blessing you. Be more and more and much, much more. In your becoming, be more and more. And what we'll talk more about that again. For I am the Mystic Philosopher. Ashe, 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 I say. Thanks for listening, and please share if you think it worthwhile sharing.